All right, we're gonna go on to our next one. It's gonna be unpopular opinions, and it's gonna be for have two very controversial opinions, kind of on pop culture, gaming. Like you guys,
unpopular. I'll take your agree or disagrees. I want to hear some unpopular opinions. Now, it can be gaming related. It doesn't have to be, but opinions that when people say, they're gonna be like, come on, dude.
So how many do we get to say each?
As many as you want.
Yeah.
Do one and then move on, then we'll go back.
You ready?
It's kind of like when we talked about...
Ben
Ben's ready.
Yeah, I'm
Ben,
ready.
shoot.
All right.
Ben,
All right,
shoot.
Go back.
Okay. Cosplay is just for people with hot bods to show off their hot bod.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'm going to say... Well, it's not an agree or disagree. I'm like, wrong.
Wrong.
All right, explain. Why is that?
An unpopular opinion.
I feel like, people, when you're fit, you feel good, you look good, you want to show that off, and what better way to do it at a convention where you could just walk around with no shirt?
Now, are you saying...
I'm Guile,
And you're like, oh, what's your favorite Guile video game? They're like,
I don't know. I just wanted to walk around without my shirt on.
I will say there are tons. We've met tons of cosplay people. We've met tons who know the deep lore, who are super into it. They love it.
Not everybody, by the way, so don't flame me in the comments.
No,
there.
this is for unpopular opinions. We want that.
True. This segment isn't made to make anybody feel good, right?
Yeah,
it's not if you're right or wrong. This isn't agree or disagree. So you feel like the majority.
I feel like some people do it just to show
Ben,
off.
what you need to do at SoCal Expo, tickets available online, you need to go around to an expo and quiz cosplayers with what they're wearing.
Okay, to see if they actually know about what they're representing.
You might be wrong. You might come back and be like, oh my gosh, they knew everything. And they might be geniuses. And then you're going to be like, oh crap, now I feel bad. And you'll have to make an apology video.
Yep. And June 8th and 9th of 2024. All right.
Yeah, June 8th and 9th, 2024, SoCalRetroGamingExpo.com. Seriously, get your tickets if you don't. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Please. Christopher?
I think some people are not going to like this.
No, that's the point.
That's what we like.
Probably Gabbo, because I think Gabbo is a big fan.
You don't like Gabbo?
You don't like Gabbo?
I love Gabbo. I love Gabbo.
Gabolito.
Iron Maiden and Judas Priest type story rock is good. I think it absolutely sucks. So that is my opinion. I know Gabbo's a big Iron Maiden.
What does story rock mean?
That's what somebody told me that recently. They said, "Oh, that's story rock," and because I think they're always telling stories in that. I call it corny rock is what I call it because I think it's just corny rock music. But that type of music, like Iron Maiden type, Judas Priest type rock music,
Never heard
like
story
that.
rock.
Like somebody called it that because they are always telling.
So
stories.
I think of Hallowed Be Thy Name. I'm waiting in a cold cell when the bells begin to chime, reflecting on my past
Like
life.
they're telling a
It's
story.
telling the guy comes. It's their time to think. Okay, so it's going. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So my opinion is that story rock, that type of music, rock music.
Do the Eagles fall under that or no?
I feel like there's a lot of story rock, though.
Ozzy might, maybe a little bit, maybe.
Just because
but not
Hotel
so
California is my favorite song, so I was just wondering.
That is a story, though.
Well, I recently went to
it.
Power Trip, the concert, and there was Iron Maiden was there, Guns N' Roses,
did you like it?
Metallica. No,
AC/DC.
I didn't like it at all.
Iron Maiden.
No, and I've always tried to listen to them, and I know there is the most devout
Huge.
following. Are you an Iron Maiden fan?
I do like them.
Do you like Iron Maiden?
I like Iron Maiden.
I'm not a big Iron Maiden fan, but I do love their T-shirts.
I love their T-shirts. Their T-shirts are amazing.
They go hard.
They do.
Not
Chris, have you ever tried to pump yourself up?
Does Ben look like he'd like Iron Maiden?
Ben's listening to the Temptations back there. He's like,
Temptations are awesome.
I know. I'm just saying.
Now I'm curious. What do you listen to, Ben? I'm
I
really
like
curious
a little bit
right
of
now.
everything, honestly.
What's your go-to?
So my favorite is techno, EDM.
Where did that come from?
I'm not a big concert goer because I get anxious with big crowds.
Yeah.
But I love listening to some EDM, absolutely cranked up when I work out and stuff.
Dang, I didn't know that about
I think I was in the car with you. You were. Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah, that's right. You had XM going on, and
You were listening to it, right? Didn't you put it on? You put on techno at some point.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
and I was
we-
like,
that's
oh,
wild.
shit. So I knew that.
Was he driving? Was he?
I think you were. Weren't you?
I
driving?
drove.
I-
It was when we dealt with the arcades. So you drove there, and then I drove your car back.
Oh, that's right. You were driving
yeah.
my
I
car when
have
we were
a-
going. Yeah, that's
Which I did have EDM
And then I got
stuff on.
in and I was like, oh, shit, you're listening to techno and EDM.
That's right.
I have a genuine fear of driving with Ben because he has some serious road rage, dude.
I do, man.
He just gasses it.
Save that for the what
everywhere he
pisses me
goes.
off part.
not all the time, just sometimes. I actually have to have a channel that's super chill.
Oh, yeah.
Just to help
He's got
me deal
Bob
with,
Ross playing in the back, dude.
That's interesting. When I work out, I actually listen to the opposite of what people would think. I don't listen to loud. I listen to very chill, like 70s, like bread and like very like
While you're
singer-song-
jogging?
Yeah, while I run every
No
day.
kidding.
I always feel like because it's not a race, like I do it daily, so I have to like be vibing. I can't like go burn myself out because I know I have to go another 5 or 6 miles.
Would you say bread?
Yeah.
Never
Bread's
heard
good.
of
Bread is so good.
So good.
Look up bread
Listen to
after.
that.
They're beautiful.
Riff, did you have an unpopular opinion?
I have a bunch of them.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I have some that are gonna they're so interesting. Oh god, I'm gonna go with one that isn't as triggering first. I think the Star Wars prequels are better than the original 3.
Ooh.
Does anybody here agree with that?
I don't.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Well, that's the point.
I think,
No opinion. I'm not big on Star
But if you all
Wars.
agree, then it wouldn't make sense.
I would say
Yeah.
episode 1 was dog water and episode 3 was pretty dog water. I liked episode 2.
3 was dog water. Episode 3 is like one of the best films in Star Wars.
No, I would say that the
What did
sixth
you like?
one-
Let me
I
guess.
liked
The newest 3.
No.
The most
Actually, what's
garb
crazy,
content I've ever seen.
I have not watched any of the new Star Wars.
You're not missing anything.
I am so sold on like my saga that I didn't want to go back.
No, that's not me saying I don't like the original 3. I love the original 3. That's just me saying that.
I wouldn't
think
say that they're better than the original just because that starting from 4, 5, and 6 and just the development of it just gives you that nostalgia and the storylines.
No, I get it.
Pretty true.
Well, my nostalgia isn't for the original 3 because I wasn't alive. But
No, but I mean, like as a kid, like those are the first 4 that I watched.
Yes.
Right, and then I went and watched 1, 2, and 3.
so I
in that
saw the
order.
originals, but then I remember. I think I've told the story. I remember seeing all the prequels in the theaters as they came out, which I obviously didn't get to see the originals. I was born in '85 as they came out. So when I saw the prequels, I remember it was you're a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember running out of the theater, and I use this for an example all the time of what films should do to you. As a kid, I ran out of the theater, holding nothing, all around, just like slapping my dad, like gotcha. And I was like, to me, that's like those memories as a kid that makes you feel like you loved a movie. And I will say, I never hated Jar Jar as a kid. It never affected me. And I remember watching the reviews, and then it's like I was swayed to think I hated Jar Jar because the whole world said they hated Jar Jar. And then when I got older, I'm like, why did I go through a phase where I was like, oh yeah, I guess I don't like Jar Jar.
I actually, that's an unpopular opinion. I actually like Jar Jar, but I just thought the first 4, 5, and 6 were way better than the first 3 for me. Just because you start with the puppet Yoda, and then you keep moving on, and it's better.
I love them. Don't worry.
How about you, Chris? You were gonna say something about it, no?
No, I like the first 3 as well.
Yeah.
I like the cinematography. I like the way it was
So good.
like filmed on the old film.
And I like how they're always like all the transitions are always like swipes. Like it's not like traditional now where it's just cuts. It's just straight swipes, like an effect.
But the prequels were
yeah.
good. They really were. I even like the new ones too. I like all of them. But something about the cinematography of the originals. You can't replicate that.
I think that 1, 2, and 3 just felt like a big political thing to me. So sometimes I was just like standing like the Republic is this and that. And it's like half of it was like that. So I was like,
That was definitely the most boring parts.
Yeah,
of them,
if
was
they
like
took that out,
the politics
I
part,
agree,
where you're
but-
like,
But
oh,
what I got out of it was pod racing, and that was a great game for
That
me.
was-
love
that was
Potter.
Potter.
You know,
Potter was
I
awesome.
didn't even watch most of them.
really?
Oh,
Yeah, like
Trekkie over here.
some of the old ones I watched, but like,
Are you a Trekkie?
no.
Okay. Ricky, unpopular, bro. You got any in your wheelhouse?
yeah, but I don't want you guys to get mad at me, so I won't say anything.
They all looked at me
Oh.
when I said that, and no one gave me a smile.
No, but
Let's hear it, Ricky,
Do you
come
have
on.
like your
so
own?
I think Green Day is trash.
What?
I hate Green Day. I do not like them.
Why?
I just never really even back in the day I was like, all right, this is cool, but Offspring, all the other bands, I love them. But Green Day, for some reason, they just always rub me the wrong way.
No kidding.
I don't want to say I hate them. I loved them back in the day when I was skateboarding.
Sorry.
It was my no. That's what the point is. I loved them when I was a kid skateboarding. But and again, I never want to talk like bad on people, especially if I don't know people. But something about Billy Joel too always kind of rubbed me a little wrong. Not like pretentious is not the word. I don't know. I think he thought he was smarter than he was. I don't know if that's how to
It's
say it, but-
pretentious.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Pretentious. There you go. I guess it is the word.
Dang, but I
I
wouldn't
like
say
their
that-
early stuff,
I
but
like them.
I like
Sorry,
we're
guys.
just nailing bands.
I'll switch it up. I'll put it towards the game. I say like Pokemon games should be more geared towards children and not balanced for adults.
Explain. I'm curious about that.
And the reason being is that Pokemon should be for kids. Let's be honest. Like it should not
But-
be where it's like it's user friendly for a kid to use it like we did as back in the day.
Yeah.
Where we were just on a Game Boy and all you had to do was throw a Pokeball, catch it, and then you just basically battle. But now it's like you'd have to get like all these upgrades and everything that go with it, and it's just you keep adding more evolutions to it. It just doesn't make sense.
I can't
to me.
speak because I never played Pokemon games.
I would rather it just be geared for kids and just like let it be. But right now, it just seems like
They're overdoing it.
They're overdoing
way too
it.
much.
Not that I don't love Pokemon, because I do, but I'm just saying that it shouldn't be geared towards adults. Like the balancing of games for it.
In what fashion do you think they're overdoing it? Because I don't play, so I don't know.
I just think they're adding too many Pokemon at this point. The weird thing is, like, you don't get to see half of the Pokemon more than once anymore. Like, you'll see random ones here, but how many are there now? Like 1,000 something, 2,000 something?
Yeah, there's something crazy.
Dude,
about
that's my next topic, man. Like, I actually think Pokemon is overrated, man.
Oh, that's your Unpopular.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, like,
Go on.
okay, so I am born in '78, so like by the time the '90s came around, when Pokemon came around, I was in high school, so like I totally missed it, right? So I literally was in an Uber last Friday, and we were talking about Pokemon with the me and the driver, and I was like, so. What is Pokemon, dude? Like, what do you do? Just go around and you collect Pokemon with the thingy? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so every Pokemon game is you just doing that? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, that's dumb, man.
You battle too, though.
So
What is it? That's
So it's pretty much an RPG. You're catching these Pokemon, building them up, and then you get to fight against each other. So it's pretty much a tournament. Your whole story is like you're building up everything, and then you go against gym leaders, and then at the end you go to this sweet tournament and try to beat everybody.
yeah. Sorry, I fell asleep there.
no,
Mr. Tetris.
Yo,
well, it is funny
Yo.
because Ricky, on our earlier podcast we did, he said one of his most played games was the early Pokemons. I'm not a Pokemon guy either, and I have no desire to as well. But
I'm not either, but I can appreciate it. I think.
Yeah.
And I have tried to go and play it. I was born in '81, so almost as
Old as me.
grandpoppy as you.
I got another unpopular one. It's like there are no generational actors anymore. There's like during our time, right? So everybody that's the same famous, like as a Leo, a Tom, or anything, those are the same people we're gonna see in movies at our time. Like there's nobody that's gonna be
explain generational
known.
actor. What do you mean? I want to make
Like
sure.
somebody who like nowadays I can't name a single actor that's gonna be lived
new
on.
guy.
Yeah, like
I
that
see what
that
you mean.
new person who's gonna be that icon in acting. Like we're still watching like Adam Sandler movies and he keeps being the same, right? Like they don't have generational actors where it's like those people are gonna be
Yeah, but
staying
AI
on.
is going to change all that. Have you guys followed the Screen Actors Guild strike thing?
Not really.
Okay, so there was a show on Netflix called Somebody is Horrible.
Okay.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah. It's
No.
called
Okay, it's very interesting concept. Okay, so but like I'm not the authority on this, by the way, but from what I do understand is like, let's say Chris here, he wants to be an actor or whatever. So what they're doing now is you would like go into a studio, from what I understand, and just like say a bunch of lines, and they'd like record everything that you said and all angles of your body and your face and stuff like that, and like, okay, thanks for coming in, and then you're gone. Well, so now you're gonna become an AI character
Future.
in like all kinds of movies and TV shows, but like it's not you obviously doing the acting. They're gonna just create it with AI, but you just sign your life away for like your.
I don't
your
think
face
that I don't
and-
think that went through though. I think they
Well,
Did it not?
I think my understanding of that was that like the agents representing those actors were like, you better not touch
their
the
likeness.
IP of the likeness. Now, on the flip side of that, though, if say I was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to die someday, if he could sign over voluntarily his rights to be like, hey, you know what, you can make movies from me with my likeness for the next 500 years, that might be pretty epic.
But he
if
already
you
had
could-
his career though.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I'm
Like
saying
as a
if
generational
like
actor.
100 years from now, you could have Terminator 19 come
That would be
out,
amazing.
and
Rocky
it's
6.
Rocky
For Stallone,
8, 9,
yes,
10.
absolutely.
I mean, that
That's-
might be pretty awesome if you think about it.
But
Now-
that's where I'm saying like there's not like a generational actor where I'm like that person's gonna stay on movies and develop as like we see them.
There's
Right?
been some younger guys, hasn't there? Like, the
Can I
guy
name
in-
one? I can't really.
I don't know
name
his name, but like the guy in Dune, the newest Dune that came out, the remake. I don't know his
couldn't
name,
tell
but he's
you.
been in a bunch of movies.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
But I mean, like we're gonna keep
He
keep
looks like
seeing the
Zac
same
Efron.
name, the same popular movies, keep using the same actors that were like 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, or we just don't know they're the next big.
But I mean,
That's
like
what I mean.
even like in newer movies, I just haven't seen somebody who's really that spotlight,
Like in the last 2 years, you mean?
like in focus
I
that
get what
they're
you're saying.
gonna
Like,
grow up
yeah,
to be
Most
something.
of the big names have been big names for a while.
Yes.
Yes. I get that.
I kind of disagree with that, though. I think every generation will have its actors. Movies are so big.
I mean, they have to.
I think
but
they will.
I don't know.
Just haven't seen it yet.
How about you guys in the comments? Leave it.
Wow, let them know.
You got an unpopular opinion?
I got plenty. I'm scared of one of them.
Go for
I'm
it.
going with either breakfast is terrible or college is overrated. Which one should I go with?
College is
wow.
overrated.
College is overrated. That's all I got to say. I don't want to get people too mad.
Disagree.
Honestly, I've been to college and like I've went to like 6 different colleges, to be honest. I've transferred so many times. I honestly think the price of college is useless. Like they shouldn't be charging people the amounts that they charge for people to get an education. Like I'm not saying education
But you
needs to
go
be
to
free.
community college though. You don't have to go to a high.
I'm not saying that education needs to be free. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that kids that are leaving high school should not have to take out life loans to like screw
I agree on
themselves.
that.
And just because it's a certain college, like Harvard, they're going to charge 6 figures for somebody to go to a college for a paper.
I wasn't going that deep with all.
No,
I wasn't going. I was
But I'm
going
saying
as far as.
that's why it's overrated for me is because I'm going to be stuck in student loan debt for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking it for it to be free, but
Yeah.
I didn't gain much from it.
I would say from my perspective, again, like, Ben disagreed right away, but it just, like you said, it just comes down to what the life experience that you've had with it. And I saw a thing the other day of this girl, like, basically saying, like, I just went to school for 5 years for this job and I applied and they gave it to the job of the person who had experience and didn't go to college, because she's like, how am I supposed to get the experience when my experience is going to college? But the guy who just went and worked after high school, he got the job because he had the experience. For me personally, I've always got jobs and to where I am from experience.
Sure.
I went out of high school and I jumped into the workforce straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I partially disagree. I definitely like the way you did it. That's amazing, right? But like, not everybody has the fortitude and the ability to do what you did. To like the follow through, stick with something.
I was going to say the reality of what I did is nothing.
You pioneered it, though.
What I did was just be willing to work. It wasn't that I was like gifted in something and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like a genius. It was just that I was like, no, I'm just willing to keep working.
And I'm not trying to redefine like the education system. I'm just trying to tell you like this, like you should be able to teach the skills for somebody just to get the job and then train them to do it.
Yep.
They'll be better as time goes. And that's where you say experience comes from. Why are we teaching the principles and all this stuff unless you want to teach it later on, right? That should be a different focus. Being a teacher to focus on something like that somebody can specialize in and explain it to other people. But other than that, I think it's useless.
So one thing for me, sorry, real quick. So college was like the starting point, and that's where I made a lot of contacts. If I look at like the first job I got in my field,
Okay.
it was because I met people at college, that led me to there. So like I feel it was like a life experience thing also.
Okay.
Because like I didn't like come from a small town, I guess you could say, like out in Iowa or something, but it was kind of a small town. It was before the internet, so you really you don't know beyond like 5 square miles. But like I don't know, I feel college was like a good experience, not just for like the educational part, but for like life experience.
Yeah,
like if you ask me like what I learned from college, like statistics and a lot of these courses that I took, like I don't remember any of it.
Right.
It wasn't the education that I got
Experience.
necessarily. It was like you said, the life experience. And the two main things I took away from it was like socially. Now you're out at I felt like coming out of high school, I was just like not a lot of social skills, no time management skills, and I think that employers, when they look at, oh, you went through college, means you learned to get up on your own without your parents, go to work, go to class, complete courses,
Discipline.
discipline. You had to do all that stuff. So if you're an employer, you're looking like, okay, you put in the effort to do that versus somebody coming straight out of high school. Not that they can't do that too. They certainly can. And you can learn that in a trade school or just working.
I think like the biggest names that we have on the internet for financial are all uneducated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
but
like most of those people who are like the biggest company owners in the world, I think are all uncolleged. I think Mr. Beast did a thing on that too.
Yeah, and a lot of the billionaires and stuff, a lot like even, Zuckerberg and a lot of those guys, I think, dropped out of college. So you don't need it by any
I think that was more of my point is like, you don't have to go because so many
don't
people
need
are
it.
like,
you don't need it.
You don't.
I agree with
that's
that.
why
but it's not
overrated.
bad at the same time.
No.
Well, of course. Well, some can be.
But I wish, Ricky, you go first.
Oh, sorry. And I was gonna say, back then there was probably different courses. Now there's just weird courses, like these guys trying to get like into these weird positions where it's like everyone's fighting for that same weird like jobs where it's not.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but there's definitely some career paths where people are like, I'm taking this, and I'm like, that's not going to help you with anything. Like, but awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish that colleges
Philosophy
could find,
degrees.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even say. Because there might be people
Hey,
watching who
sorry.
go.
Unpopular opinion, but I would just hope that colleges somehow integrate people who want to be in the workforce doing that job earlier. That's
Yes.
it.
And
And
you have-
that's it for me. That's why I think college is overrated, because you're not doing those things.
We're gonna make so many people mad today.
But all right,
40% of the people watching are sitting in college class right now with AirPods on. Like, oh no! Don't read. This is a bunch of idiots talking who have all different lives.
Yeah, all right.